Right, today I thought I'd run you through a step-by-step process for mounting the bike in T1 as we go from the swim to the bike. I'm going to start off with a very simple stop, leg over and go, build that up to a scoop, leg over and go, and then finally we're going to finish with a flying mount. Okay, so first things first, I'm actually going to recommend you ditch your bike shoes for now, so we're not clipped into the pedals as we practice our transitions. Instead, just opt for some trainers, as I'm wearing now, just so you can get comfortable with it, and then we can build the bike shoes back in at a later point. Now, first step for this is actually learning how to walk with the bike, or perhaps run with the bike at that stage. Now, a lot of people will automatically opt for holding the bike by their handlebars just because they feel like they've got control of the bike, they can steer it around, and it feels really stable. But obviously, you're really hunched over. It's not a very comfortable running position. And the other issue we have is that the pedals are then quite close to our shins. So you often see people knocking their shins on the pedals or even knocking their shoes off if they were on the pedals. What we want to go for is holding the bike by the saddle. Now, actually, you still have really good mobility and movement of the bike from this position, and also it allows you to move the bike away from yourself so you don't hit your shins on the pedals and you can get around corners nice and easily. So what I recommend is we start off by walking with the bike. Just get used to walking in a straight line with the bike, and then we'll build it up and actually start weaving the bike. So just get used to moving the bike as you walk, and then if you like to, you can start picking that pace up ever so slightly. So go for a jog and then into a run. Now that's the walking or running with the bike through transition to get ourselves to the mount line. So now for the important part, the mounting of the bike. And we've kind of got a few options for you here. So the first and probably the easiest is the simple stop over or past that mountain line and just put your leg over and get onto the bike as you normally would when you're starting out a ride, a training ride from your home. The next option, which is slightly more advanced, is what we call the scoot and go, or that's what I've coined the term as anyway. So for this, all we want to do is literally put our outside leg onto the pedal, and we're going to practice this to start off with just to get our confidence using the inside leg, both hands on the handlebar. We're going to push ourselves along. Just find that balance of the bike, lean your weight into the saddle a little bit just so that you find yourself nice and balanced and get yourself in a nice straight line. Then we're going to advance that a little bit. Again, this is just to build our confidence up. We're going to tilt the bike over much further, and we're still going to scoot along, find that balance point, and this is going to just build our confidence up, and this is going to help for all of our transitions going forward. Okay, so once you've mastered that, you've built up your confidence with it, and perhaps even played around with moving direction whilst you're doing it, we're now ready to put it all together and make this into a seamless action as we come from T1 over that mountain line onto our bike. So obviously we've been running or walking with the bike by holding by the saddle. We then need to transfer our hands onto the handlebars. So just do that one hand at a time, get a nice grip of that, and then once you're over the mountain line, then put your foot onto the pedal and then use that inside leg to scoot yourself along. Now, you may have worked out on the previous stage which side you prefer. I personally like to mount the bike from the left-hand side of the bike, so then I put my left-hand foot onto that pedal. If you do the other side, that's absolutely fine. Maybe try them both out and find which one you prefer. Again, just build up your speed with this. So saddle, handlebars, foot on the pedal, scoot yourself along, and then leg over and off you go. Okay, so once you're completely comfortable with that, it's now time to bring the bike shoes back in. And we have a couple of options here for you. So you can either wear your bike shoes, so you can put them on before you grab your bike, or you can have the bike shoes on the bike already and clipped in. So if we're going to wear our bike shoes through transition, we'd put them on before we grab our bike, run through, and as we go over that mountain line, we would put our hands on the handlebar, clip that outside foot into the pedal, and then leg over and clip in on the other side as you go. If you want your bike shoes on the pedals already, we're going to run through transition barefoot. As we get over that mountain line, it's a case of putting that barefoot on top of your shoe, pushing down, starting to scoot, and then leg over onto the other shoe. And then as you get your momentum up, you can then slide your feet in and strap them up and clip them up. But just make sure you got your momentum up before you start to do that. Right now we're on to this stage that everyone's been waiting for and probably quite daunted by. It's the flying mount. But honestly, you needn't be daunted, because if you have mastered the past couple of stages, then you should be really comfortable by this point at maneuvering your bike and the whole feel of the transition and mounting the bike. Now, I would still recommend, no matter how confident you are, that you do it on a soft surface, just so if anything does go wrong, which it shouldn't do, that you're not worried about falling onto a hard surface. Now, contrary to what everyone suggests and believes, a flying mount isn't a case of jumping 5 feet in the air and landing really hard down onto the saddle. It's actually just a little skip and onto the saddle. Now, if I demonstrate holding onto my handlebars, I can literally put my leg over and onto the saddle. And it's literally just a case of doing that at some pace. Okay, so when we're starting out with this flying mount, again, just start out with your normal trainers before bringing the bike shoes. Now, as we're going through transition and approaching that mountain line, you want to go from holding the bike by the saddle and transfer your hands down onto the handlebars. And once you've passed that mountain line, you can then start going up onto the ball of your foot and then bring that opposite leg around the back of the saddle and plonk yourself on. So it's just a little skip up on, we're not going too far into the air, we should just slide ourselves onto that saddle. Now, once you're more comfortable with that and you've started to increase the pace with it, we can start bringing the bike shoes in. And again, we've got a couple of options here. You can put the bike shoes on before you grab your bike, run through transition, and still exactly the same movement. Just obviously be wary that you do have the cleats, which can be a little bit awkward at times. If you want to have the bike shoes on your pedals already, you can also use elastic bands, which will just hold the shoes in a nice, good position that you can apply force straight away. And again, exactly the same movement, just barefoot now. So up onto the ball of the foot and then leg around and on. And bring that other leg around the back, over the saddle, sliding yourself on. And then you want to quickly put your feet on top of the shoes. Some people have mastered putting their feet straight into the shoes. I've never been able to do that. Maybe it's just because my feet are quite big. But yeah, I always put my feet straight on top of the shoes, start pedaling, get some momentum up, and then foot by foot, I just put them into the shoes and fasten them up. Well, there we go. There's a step-by-step process for mounting your bike in T1. Obviously, a lot of you out there are very eager to do the flying mount, but do make sure that you've comfortably conquered each stage before you get yourself to the flying mount, because it will make a lot of difference. That said, if you can get yourself to doing the flying mount, it's amazing how much time you can save. Equally, if you get it wrong, you could lose a bit of time. So do make sure you've nailed it to get to that point. If you have enjoyed today's video, please do hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more videos from GTN, just click the globe and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to see another video with some more transition tips, you can see that by clicking just down here.